Right on cue, Buzz. Uh, okay. Okay, right. I'm starting. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yes, yes. Hello, 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 hello. Just wait for some more people to come in. Let me just see if I can see everyone. Oh, a few more people coming in. Uh, cool, cool, cool. Everyone, everyone, everyone. All right. Okay, I think we're good. We're good. All right. Cool. Hello. If you can hear me, just put something in the chat. Um, and if you can see me, put something in the chat as well. Just put like a yes or something like that, or a thumbs up, whatever. Perfect. Perfect. Hello. 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 Obviously there's a few messages in the group chat of people not going to be here because obviously it's 7 p.m. on a Sunday and you've all got things to be doing. So I'll try not to keep you for too long. Um, but yeah, and this will obviously be recorded for people to watch back anyway. But yeah, firstly, thank you for all signing up to Accelerator 4. There are a few new people. I say there are a few old people that have done this before, uh, other rounds, but there's a lot of new faces here. So yeah, in the group, there's like I said, there's people that have done this before. They can share their previous experience stuff like that. I've also got some one-to-ones in the group chat as well, so they can help as well. They've obviously been with me for a long period of time, but yeah, I hope you're all excited. For me, it takes a long time to market this and advertise it and create all the content and build everything out. So yeah, really grateful that you're all on board. Um, and yeah, hopefully ready to go. Like I said, I won't take too much time um, for this evening, but I thought I'd just run through kind of what it's all about, what's going on, what's going to happen, and just answer some questions really. Because I'm sure that there's going to be some people that have got questions in what's going to happen, what's involved, and people are getting set up as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen, and yeah, hopefully you'll be able to see. So if you can, cool. Okay. So hopefully you should be able to see my screen. Um, so yeah, like I said, I won't take too much of your time. We'll crack on. But like I said, I hope you're all excited. Hope you're all ready to get going. Hope you all had a good summer. Hope you all had a good weekend. Hopefully, some of you have been out in the sun today. Um, but yeah, I'll quickly run through this. What you can expect for the next 8 weeks? It's basically 8 weeks of accountability structure and a bit of education to kickstart a fat loss journey in the run up to Christmas. And by doing it now, you're going to set yourself in the best position you can for during that Christmas period when people are going to want to be fitting into their clothes. They're going to be thinking about social events. They're going to be thinking about how they're going to feel around like them towards the end of the year. Whereas the people, and like what we did in the summer, the people that get themselves prepared before summer, before Christmas, you go into the summer, you go into the Christmas period feeling like a lot more confident, a lot more energy, can feel like you perform better, and you would have done all the hard work so then you can improve and increase your food over that Christmas period without putting a load of weight all back on. So for most people, it's going to be about just getting back into the routine, getting some structure, getting some accountability, and challenging yourself over the next 8 weeks. But by the end of these 8 weeks, hopefully you would have dropped a noticeable amount of body fat. You'll see noticeable changes in the mirror. Your clothes will fit better. And shifted a bunch of centimeters off your waist, your hips, your chest, your arms, your thighs. Hopefully built more strength in the gym. just because we're going through a fat loss phase doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get weaker. For a lot of you, especially if it's quite new or you haven't done it for a period of time, you should notice that your strength should still continue to increase as well. But for a lot of you, it's a case of you've been in the gym before, you need a bit of structure and a bit of accountability with your food, your nutrition, your daily activity, and your gym sessions as well. But hopefully, like by the end of it, you'd have learned how to make progress without having to starve yourself. Hopefully, without having to like resort to meal replacement shakes or just dieting like really like terribly. So we'll do our best to obviously help and educate you in how to create a good amount of fat loss, but then sustain that long term. So obviously, it's likely that you've probably tried dieting before. Maybe you haven't stuck to it. Maybe you have, or it hasn't worked before. Maybe you feel like you're yo-yoing, you're going up and down or around in circles. Like I said, you might be completely new to training, completely new to tracking your nutrition. Maybe you just want to learn the basics of getting started and building momentum, which will then create a lot more motivation and get you feeling more comfortable in the gym. You might be someone that's been going to the gym a long time, and you want to use this as a bit of a challenge, see how far you can push yourself and see how lean you can get. Or you might be somewhere in between where you're in need of accountability. You've let things slip over summer. You want to tighten things up, get a bit of a kick up the arse, or you feel like you've got as far as you can on your own, and you need someone to hold you accountable, give you advice, give you education on how to take them results one step further. Most people normally give this sort of stuff a go themselves. They don't really last very long, and then they end up not getting the results they want, and then end up going back to where they were, maybe even worse than previously. But for a lot of people, it's a good stepping stone into going into maybe more like one-to-one coaching if it's something that you've considered before, and then you want like a kind of stepping stone into that. This might be a first step for that. Maybe you've seen results from other clients. Maybe you know other people that have done this before and got good results and want the same for yourself. Or my high-end content and just overall piss taking has made you want to join as well. But whatever it is, whatever levels you're at, this is designed to be as simple as possible for you, lots of accountability, and you have got someone for the next 8 weeks to hopefully get you to where you want to be. So what this program isn't, it's not going to be like a copy and paste program. If you've had PTs before and you've done like 8-week programs before, maybe you've downloaded some like influencer stuff or Instagram stuff, and it's like you get a PDF copy and paste program, a meal plan to follow, and then it's cool. Here's your program. See you in 8 weeks. Off you go. Some people that I've trained before, they've come from other PTs and other Instagram coaches where it's a case of they get told they need to eat 6 meals a day, train 2 hours a day in the gym for 6 days. And it's not like that at all. Like it's designed to still be built around you. It's not going to have you sit on cardio machines non-stop. So boring. Like I couldn't think of anything worse. So we try and prioritize strength training. And then in terms of like cardio, you can stick that on at the end, or we mainly focus on daily activity as well. It's not a copy and paste meal plan for everyone. Obviously, there are meal plan templates in your folders. So whatever calorie ranges you've got, there should be something in there that you can use and hopefully take some meal ideas from. But ultimately, you probably don't want to follow that to the exact T, because then you won't learn what works. And everyone's going to be different. Some people like to not have breakfast. Some people have 3 meals a day. Some people have 4 meals a day. People work shifts. So you got to make it work for you, and that's what the check-ins are going to be as well. So it's a chance, and obviously the group's a chance to ask questions. Other people will share wins. I'll obviously share what works for other clients and what I think and what I would advise best for you, depending on your own circumstances. Because like I said, everyone's still going to be different. You're not going to get if you can't do it, you don't want it enough attitude from me. Like you've signed up for this, you have put your hand up for help. So you're going to have to work hard, but you'll never hear me say, like, if you can't get into the gym the same amount of times that your program says, or like something comes up or anything like that, or you go to a social event and you're not taking your own meals there, and I'm not going to say that you don't want it enough. Like, again, it's designed to be coaching, not a dictatorship. And like I said, it's not a here's your stuff, see you in 8 weeks, let me know how you get on. So it's obviously a lot more in depth, and the people that have done this before can vouch that it's really good value. I will give you loads of education tools. I'll give you access to all of my education library. You'll get weekly trainings to go over certain topics. I'll try not to overwhelm you with everything, but if you have a question, ask it. Chances are I've come across someone that's had that problem before, and we can help you get around that. So as much communication as possible in the group. So what it is, you've got personalized training programs. It's not completely personalized in terms of it's specific to you as an individual. You've got a choice of however many days you can go in, and you've got some options that you can go around. You've also got alternative exercises if your gym has or hasn't got certain things, or if something's busy, or you maybe prefer dumbbells instead of machines. Then you've got options there. You've got your weekly accountability on your spreadsheet. That's got your daily targets and nutrition targets all bespoke to you. And obviously the written check-ins are a chance for you to express how things have gone, what's gone well, what maybe hasn't gone so well. And then allows me to kind of tweak things and help you continue progressing. Like I said, some people it's going to be tough. There are some people that are going to have social events. There are some people that are going to be going on holiday, and it's ideal that I know those and we can discuss those in your check-ins, because then we can come up with a game plan and strategy around those sort of things. So again, I'm not expecting things to be 100% from everyone. It's just a case of do your best you can and communicate so that we can adjust things based on that. But like I said, everyone's got a different starting point. So all of your nutrition targets, your steps, your fluid intake is based around what you hopefully have already put in your spreadsheet. Community support, I've got that as Facebook group. So we used to do a Facebook group. It's now in a WhatsApp group. You're all on the same journey at the same time, doing the start date, end date. And the reason I've changed it to WhatsApp is it allows quicker communication. You've got the announcements page, and you've got the group chat page. The announcements page, I will post important stuff in there. So like I'll post this video in there as a recording. I'll post all the trainings in there. Anything that I think is important and like a need to know will go in that. Anything else, the group chat is for people to chat away, ask questions. And like I said, it's easier for people to communicate on WhatsApp than it is on Facebook. So you've got a little bit more, you've got higher level of communication with me now than what previously would have been a Facebook group. Like I said, you've got the education platform as well to learn the hows and the whys of training and nutrition, how it can be flexible, how it can work around you. And then also someone that can call you out on your excuses if you maybe need it. And if you do the work, if you put the graft in and you get through the 8 weeks, again, it doesn't have to be 100%. As long as you're there or thereabouts, then you'll get great results. If you follow me on Instagram or see the content that I post, I've been posting someone like literally every single day for the past 6 weeks that's gone through this process. And there are 170 people that have gone through this process, whether it's and then gone into one-to-one or gone through this, but everyone that's done it has got really, really good results. And again, there'll be people in here that have done this before who can vouch for that and share the wins that they've already got as well. So last round totals, combined out of everyone, there was over 600 centimeters we dropped and over 140 kilos lost. So that's 310 pounds. And that's all in as little as 8 weeks. Like I said, it's going to be tough, but it's meant to be a short, sharp dieting phase. So we can get you in, get you out, so then you can have more food and then go on to be more sustainable over the Christmas period as well. So these are a couple of like ground rules and just other things that I think is important for people to know. Because it's not one-to-one, the communication's in the WhatsApp group. I have a first week's kind of grace period where people need help with setting up and stuff like that. So some of you have got me on WhatsApp already. Some of you have got me on Instagram. Like asking me a couple of questions during the week one-to-one is okay. But after that, it needs to go in the group. Obviously, I need to keep it different from one-to-one clients and everyone on the Accelerator program. So after week one, everything goes in that group WhatsApp. If you put it in the group WhatsApp as well, chances are there are going to be other people that may be feeling the same or have the same questions. So then if I answer one person's question, I might be answering five questions at the same time. So try and put as much in there as you can. Just on that, I would leave notifications on for the announcements group. You don't have to have the notifications on for the group. I know I have loads of groups that are muted, but I think the announcement ones, keep the notifications on because I will only post in there if it's important. Check-ins are the most important part of the week. That allows me to adjust things, give you feedback. If you feel like you've had a frustrating week or you might see things maybe not change so much, then I have to tell people like the weeks where you feel like they haven't gone as well are the most important weeks to check in. If you only leave it to the best weeks that you check in, there's not as much information, there's not as much feedback I can give. If you feel like you've had a frustrating week or it's been tough, they're the most important ones to check in. So make sure you do those. Them check-ins are going to be on a Monday, so you'll have on your spreadsheet. You'll fill that box in, and then on Tuesday, by the end of Tuesday, you'll have feedback in the box next to it. If you miss 2 consecutive check-ins, it tells me that you're not serious, unless it's obviously it's unless it's like something that is out of your control. But I can't chase everyone. So normally, like if you miss 2 in a row, it tells me that you're kind of checking out and you're not taking it seriously. And it's a lot of money to spend but to then not check in. Like in the previous rounds, I've had people pay and then not even look at it, and I just think you're wasting your own time and my time if you don't check in. Photos and measurements are also so important, so please don't miss them. I'll take a look at those in your check-ins, and it's important for you to see visible changes with your measurements and your photos, because by the time it gets to week 4, you'll probably notice more changes physically than you would do with your scale weight. Obviously, scale weight is important, but if we have a week where your weight hasn't changed that much, but we see that you've lost 4 centimeters and we can see visibly that your photos are different, then we know that there's progress there. So it's really important that you do those. With your photos, first thing in the morning, same place every single time. Try and make it good lighting, and stand far away that you can see your whole body. Try not to have the camera underneath you, looking up at you, down. Please don't do selfies in the mirror, because if you do a selfie from the back, it's really hard to see any and me to point out any differences. So either if on a windowsill in front of natural light, or if you've got a tripod, set the camera up, put the tripod up, set the camera on. You can take photos with the timer, or you can put a video on and then just do front, back, and side, and then screenshot it and upload them into your folders. Really important. So the weight, the photos, and the measurements all first thing in the morning. And with the photos, whilst your check-in day is on a Monday, I would probably advise doing your photos and measurements on a Friday, because then you've had probably a whole week of being consistent. Most people tend to have a refeed day at the end of the week or on a weekend, where if you've had then more food, you have more calories, you might be holding more water, your measurements and your photos might be a little bit off. So yeah, at times, normally week 1, people tend to turn around to me and say that they're feeling hungry. Your body's going to be adapting at this point, so you need to get through that. Your body will, by week 2, start to kind of level out. Expect it to be tough. Like at times, you're going to have days that are going to be tough. You're going to have weeks that are going to be tough. But as long as you keep stacking up small wins and building momentum, then you'll continue to make progress. If it was easy, then everyone would be doing it, and everyone would be walking around super lean. But like I said, you don't have to be perfect. I'm not going to be like, if you miss your calories by 100 or 50 or anything like that, I'm not going to bite your head off or anything like that. You're still going to be okay. We just want to make sure that you're consistent. If you're not 100% consistent, then 80% consistent is going to be fine. Like I said, you will have bad days, so it's important that you don't let that bad day affect the whole week. Previous rounds would suggest that the highest drop-off rate is week 4, because that's when you're furthest away from the start and furthest away from the end. So if you can get to week 4 and week 5, then week 4 is normally where you start to notice most of the progress as well. You start to notice the reflection in the mirror changing significantly. You'll start to really notice scale weight would have dropped, and you would notice that your centimeters have shifted considerably as well. At the end of the day, it's 8 weeks. Challenge yourself. You can handle it. And that's why you've got me to help you get through those 8 weeks. So the people that hide away and don't ask questions, they're the ones that will tend to fall off. So if you've got a question, like, ask it straight away. I'm pretty active on my phone most of the time. The only time I'm not is normally when I'm training myself, or if I've got a face-to-face client. So, or if it's like at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. at night, then I won't be responding. So yeah, like I said, keep the communication high. This is going to be the weekly video topics. So previously, I've done these as live calls. I've also done them as pre-recorded videos that I can then put in. I'll put a poll in the WhatsApp group as to what people prefer, but normally I would put these out on a Wednesday. So week 1 is just going to be like the foundations and mindset for your fat loss, and this program. Week 2, optimizing nutrition for fat loss, training strategies in the deficit, motivation, why you can't rely on it, refeeds, diet breaks, social events, what to do when you hit a plateau and make adjustments. We'll go with week 7, like planning around what you need to do after the accelerator and future pacing for long term, and creating a roadmap for that. And then week 8 is then transitioning out of the deficit that you're in to then pull the calories up so that you can carry on doing this sustainably after that. This is a picture of like previous intakes, what people have achieved in a short period of time.
I've
Most of the
discovered I dislike prep to fill now.
Say again. Yeah, so these are people that have done 8 weeks before. Loads of people got really, really wild results when they stick to it. These are all people that have stuck to it like as best they can. So if you do everything, then there's no reason why you can't do something similar. And so what you need to do, make sure you've watched the welcome videos. So in the group, and when you signed up, you would have been sent a page that has a step-by-step guide on what to do. Watching the videos on how to get yourself set up, the coaching log, and your training program. Make sure your spreadsheet is set up. So make sure that you filled in your details. Make sure you filled in your measurements. Please do the measurements in centimeters, not in inches. Disregard the calories on the dashboard. They're for me. Your calories will be on your coaching log. So make sure that your spreadsheet is all set up and good to go, because if it's all set up, you'll know your numbers and then you can plan ahead for that. Pick your chosen program. If you can go in, if you say to yourself, I can go in 4 or 5 times a week, then go with 4 times, because then you've got a day like where you can, if something comes up, you can move it around. You can always add an extra day in if you want. And with your training, make sure you're logging your workouts. I'll do a different kind of training on that, but make sure you're writing your weights down, because every week you want to try and beat that, whether that's weight or whether that's reps. Make sure your start photos are taken and uploaded. Sorry, just on the logging your workouts. You can do that however you want. You could do it on your notes. You can do it with a notepad. You can do it on download a training app if you want. However you want to log those, whatever's easiest for you to remember, put them on there. Because like I said, you want to be making sure that you're chasing progression, because we want to make sure that we're maintaining muscle mass whilst dropping body fat and not losing muscle at the same time. So yeah, make sure your start photos are taken, uploaded, and basically just like ride at this point. You're probably motivated, you're ready to go, and you have more excitement than what you would have at week 5. So ride that wave of momentum and motivation at the moment. Share your wins, share any lessons that you've got, share what works for you. It might work for other people. Any questions you've got, ask early, communicate quickly. And like I said, don't panic if you're not perfect. Like this isn't an all or nothing thing. So if you're 10 grams off your protein target, even if you're like 20, all that, it doesn't matter for the first like week or so. It's just about getting you into kind of like a flow and a routine with it, and we can tweak things as we go. But overall, like, you want to be able to enjoy it. And if you see results, then you will. If you engage in the group, you will enjoy it. I'll be giving away prizes and doing challenges and giving away prizes every week. So make sure you get involved with those. And at the end of it, if you do really well, then 2 people, male and female, will win. Someone will win £300 each. With that, it's not just about who loses the most weight. It's who's the most engaging in the group, who's held themselves the most accountable, who's communicated well, who's done really in depth with their check-ins, who's uploaded their photos, measurements, who's been consistent, and all of that. So it's not just about who loses the most weight. So yeah, a couple of other things just to finish off. Key dates. Obviously, you've got tomorrow to start. Wednesday the 10th, I'll do the first live training and the challenge. Again, I'll put a poll in the group if you'd rather do live calls. They'll probably be Wednesdays at 7, or I can pre-record them and send them out for you to watch at another time. Monday the 15th will be your first check-in. Tuesday the 16th, you'll get your check-in response. Sunday the 21st will be a group hike that'll be local to Medway. Sunday the 28th of October will be another group hike. So obviously you're more than welcome to come to those. I'll do them once a month. Sunday the November the 2nd, the last day. And the 8th of November, Saturday the 8th, we'll do a group meetup and drinks and stuff like that. So put those dates in your diary. Obviously, you'll have access to this after. But like I said, you're all more than welcome to come to all 3 of them events. We do them at the end of every accelerator, and I'll bring some of the one-to-one clients as well, because it'll be end of year kind of Christmas drinks as well. I feel like I've spoken a lot there. So has anyone got any questions for me at all?
Hi Ryan, it's Chris. Yeah, the only question I've got is kind of in regards to what you're just talking about with regards to logging training. Like, I don't really want to take my phone in the gym because I know I'm just going to get distracted.
Mhm.
So, do you have like a layout that you could share that would where you need to log like reps and weights and all that kind of stuff that you find that would be useful, or what would you recommend?
Yeah, so I log my workouts in literally a notepad because I'm the same. I don't like if I go on my phone, I get distracted whilst I'm training. So you've obviously got the training program, and there's rep ranges in there. For everyone, I would just stick to 3 reps on everything. Um, and for more compound movements and bigger movements like squats, deadlifts, like rows, presses, all stuff like that, you maybe want to stick with like, and again it depends on how advanced you are. For someone that's really new, I would opt for slightly higher rep range for the start of this program, just to get the reps in and get used to it. For someone that's a little bit more well trained, I might go with starting with like somewhere between a 6 and 12 rep range, and then as you go through the program, and I'll cover this as we go through it, is to drop the rep ranges, to focus on trying to be as strong as possible, because we don't want to do so much volume that we can't recover from it when we're going through a deficit. So I would write it down. Like I said, however you want to log it is up to you. But literally, uh, I use a notepad. Literally, just one of those. I write it down. Um, literally, on here, like I've got upper body 2 exercises, and then weight and reps, and then I just look at that every week, and I try and beat the numbers that I got on that. Like I said, whether it's one more rep, 1 extra kilo, I'll just try and beat my numbers each time. Does that
Okay,
help?
cool. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. Anyone else? When are the first photos due? I would do the first photos as soon as possible. Um, yeah, like you can you can do them. First photos are okay. Like you can do them tonight, but I would do like the rest of them first thing in the morning. Like I said, probably on Friday. So for week 1 check-ins next Monday, I would take them Friday morning or Saturday morning, just because most people, if they're going to have their refeed day, they're going to have it on a weekend day, so normally like a Saturday or a Sunday. So then you want to have your photos done before that, really, because chances are you're going to have more carbs. There's planned that you have more carbs on that day. So with more carbs, you hold more water. You hold 3 grams of water for every 1 gram of carb that you have. So I'll get them photos done slightly earlier than when you have that refeed. Um, cool. Uh, does anyone else have any questions? Or are we all good? Any tips for hitting protein? Is protein powder needed? So it depends on what your number is. I would say that protein powder, yeah, you can have protein. It's just an easy way of getting extra protein in. I would always advise getting it in through food, because you will end up feeling fuller for longer. But as like I wouldn't do the shakes instead of food. I would have it as in addition to. So you could have like, if you had 3 meals a day, you could have maybe a shake for breakfast, um, and then maybe a shake and some fruit, or shake and some yogurt, and then have higher protein sources, or bigger protein sources in your lunch and your dinner. Um, it's up to you. If you were gonna, if you were having protein powder, I would double scoop it. Chances are you get 20 grams in one scoop. So if you have 2 scoops, you're going to get 40 grams. So if you had like a 120 grams of protein target, you have 40. You've got to get 80 across 2 meals, which is pretty easy to do. But with all of your meals, you want to make sure that protein is like the first thing that goes on that plate, and it's a hefty amount, because as you go through that dieting phase, as it gets more difficult towards the later stages, that's going to be the thing that keeps you feeling fuller. If you just rely on shakes, then your receptors in your stomach aren't going to feel full. So then you'll just feel hungry quicker. But they are like, obviously I take protein shakes. Normally I take them after I train, but that's just out of routine for me. And it's just a good way of boosting that number up. But I would always get it in. I would get it in. I would always get the protein in as a priority. For some people, normally on weekends is where people struggle as well. They tend to not have as much because the routine goes out the window. So with with weekends, especially, and this can be any day, but if you try and not leave all of your protein to the end of the day, then you're not going to be trying to play catch up. if you front load your protein towards the start of the day, so again, it could be yogurt, it could be shakes, it could be eggs, it could be bacon, or like some sourdough, then you haven't got to play catch up towards the end because it doesn't matter when you have your protein as long as you're getting as much as you can throughout the day. The protein is like a kind of like a non-negotiable. Your carbs and your fats you can manipulate how you want. So if you hit your protein target and then your calorie target, then you're fine. Then you're fine. Some days you might want higher fats and lower carbs. If you want, some days you might want lower carbs, higher fats. It's entirely up to you. But protein and total overall calories is the bread and butter stuff. Again, with the first week, you might find that you're not close to your protein target, but that's fine. The first week is more like just focus on calories because then if I see that we might be 40 or 50 grams off, then in your check-in, I can give suggestions on how to get protein in at some other point in the day. But you've got your meal, like there's meal plans and there's meal examples I'll post like different recipes and stuff in the groups to give you a bit of help as well. And I'll send over throughout this first week, I'll send over like a good list of protein sources that'll be good for everyone and that can be easily gettable. But yeah, like I said, stuff like that. If you do find something that works, then share that in the group as well. Okay. Is there any other questions at all? Or are we all good? Cool. I think we're all good. Perfect. Cool. Tomorrow I'll do another recording of what to expect over the next 8 weeks and how how to expect your weight to kind of fluctuate and what to look out for in the coming weeks. So I'll do that tomorrow. That's kind of like an extra like training to help you understand what the process should look like. But yeah, if there's no other questions, then I think we're pretty much done. Just make sure that obviously your spreadsheets are all set up. If you are struggling to get into your folder, please make sure you've downloaded the Google Drive app. It tends to work better if you have a Gmail account. So if you're struggling, just make sure that you've got a Gmail account as well. If you haven't and you haven't got any problems, that's cool. If you have, then send me a message as soon as possible, and we can get that sorted. But yeah, if there's any other questions, if there's no other questions, then I think I'll let you crack on with the rest of your evening. Cool.
Thank you.
All right, no worries. Perfect. I'll leave it there then. Like I said, if you've got any questions, chuck them in the group. And yeah, I'll drop a message in tomorrow, but let us know all how you get on. Perfect. All right, I'll leave it there. Have a great evening, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. 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 Bye.